then just let me know when you have questions.
I'm good at it.
All right. So you said framework and then queer theory with an overview.
Yep. Yeah. Are you both?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, cool. Try to make my computer brighter. Okay, what's this? On framework crossfire, they roll back on the case made that it is about who breaks down these dominant structures word are not going framework. Once there's no offense on the thought that there, and that we don't show education of the plain as a prerequisite to politics. Let's go into the core overview on Griffith. Wait, there was a speech in this. What was the one you see? Who are these people? Oh, it's starting to come back to me like a bad memory, just like when I was starting to think of something better. Forgetting is a breakdown of the linear normative model of thought. The affirmative is rooted in traditional notion of how society should look with these. Norms are when acts of violence on the queer. Our alternative is to puzzle this around as a place of being is forgetting this. Forgetting is radical and how it breaks down these social norms by limiting them, opening up the new space for being the new notions of the ethical thought they try to say. The affirmative is often to forgetting that they have unique ideas that overlook that their affirmative is rooted in a truly ethical norm of our time where we come to the full circle after forgetting the social is the distress that the affirmative implies that we need to point out the violence inherent in the affirmative. This is all rooted in the social norms that are left getting the alternative falsescapes. We can see broken on these dominant view logic that the state creates we solve the case of conceit of heteronormativity is the root cause of the affirmative. And you probably should vote negative right now, which there's no articulation of why you should vote affirmative. The two AT, but you should default to the negative. Now cutting off these swords of which one step closer, breaking down the barriers of racism and sexism by refusing this ideology. You open up the floodgate for change. Intellectually refusing means that this is the very debate and discussion about the queer exclusion, and the status quo is key to actually changing the mindset that allows for individuals to think before they act on the app. Messianos like critique. The critique is a prior question. The affirmative endorses the heteronormative totalitarian the anti-queer leads to the actions that reaches the root cause of their impacts. They are propagating things like the Bible and the notion of Jesus Christ, the heteronormativity, the binary logic that holds individual standard that people fall into the same complementary genders and the natural role like the excluding the queer body, the role bound us to over the best challenge of the ideology of heteronormativity. We still access their role without being a case because we disrupt the politics of the fear through forgetting our pyramid, specifically situating your battle within the social struggle against hierarchy of modes of thought that forgetting the heteronormativity present vertical will be the only way to actually solve this social inequality to the status quo, making this only first and foremost about the ideological critique poses a fundamental question the starting points is to challenge the heteronormative social inequality, the structure, the ethical interaction only by our framework logic. We're about to actually engage the ethical reflection, the root cause of the social exclusion on the queer body in this status quo. This round is about competing ideologies, but before the end, we saw the root cause, but now endless violence outweighs the affirmative reintroduction into this heteronormativity versus endless violence is the collective consequence, individual perception, and the experiences of the social system and institutions outweigh any kind of outweigh any of the affirmative claims because solving for the root cause. I don't know when he means the impacts are assumed by the critique of the naturalist probability exclusion and balance upon the courses and the status quo. Now the things like the Bible in the narrative of Christ are able to actually use the voice of Christ to specifically to justify things like genocide and violence against the queer body or sit there and advocating things like the futures. I'll get that later because the plan endorses binary logic, the reintroduction of structural violence, racism, sexism, and eliminates not only exclusion but the physical violence against the queers. Now endless violence guarantees the continuation of the disavowal of the queers and guarantees endless violence, which means that the plan props up the use of the same endless violence will proceed to escalate the racism on long-term line D. So that we still use we deconstruct the anti-power evidence, so it's not why that matters when we still get a risk of that you could still preserve the life. I'll get to that later on in the debate on the link debate today. Say permutation first on. If we win any residual links that proves the K is competitive, we win the permutation bull. I see the links later on by 2. The permutation can't solve because they do not forget these heteronormative structures that are in these thoughts, where they don't forget the identities that so on, which means they still propagate the system, means they cannot stop acting. So heteronormativity can only be challenged through constant subversion. The matrix of controls ever changing. The power continues only when it's propped up. The permutation allows for a co-option. The alternative is genuine refusal that allows heteronormativity to adopt solid chambers. And instead of the heterosexual matrix never reads the side of the matrix can only assume to the concept repetition of the matrix can only apply the motion of the regulatory practice that produces the one must see exception of notion identities of the regulatory practice when we seen against the assimilation of the regulatory practice which produces the intellectual gender. The heterosexual matrix insists upon the going to the sexual gender desire with the name of friend or normative subversion heteronormative not however be away from the identity of this construction the same body got contours the relies on the fixed identities the self consider the primary ability and empirical those sexual practices both homosexual and heterosexual contexts the local surface again continues the erotic signification the total effect of the delivery describe the boundaries of the body to culture one this wealth of me comes from the significant external the written on the body rather than the observed size of the body the retardment follows the life which the body signifies the soul which I cannot show that the soul is a service signifies the context that displays the inner and the outer which someone's go on to now and they see identities are unique to that because they kill sexual identities however yes that's a fuck that, I'm sorry I mean that yes that's the the point of the criticism that we break down the other. We do not actually look to identities. We say instead of having fixed identities, we need to have a community come together as a queer body and sit there and fight against the forms of state. That's not the reason why fixed identities right now. Fixed identities are the basis system for oppression. Collateral movements are responsible for dichotomies that deny the queer body in the first place. That screams to 95. The gay and lesbian social movements have built a quasi-ethnicity complete within its own political cultural institution. They say the shared oppression of these movements are actually forcibly the denial of the free self-produced actually self-imposed imposed to build a collective identity with a distinct group of violence that actually unite the direct opposing logic carried by the queer activists that take apart the identity categories of the queer biology that is socially produced boundary gay shaming of women that are at the base of oppression fluid unstable experiences the self became fixed fiber in the surface of social control and disrupting those categories repeating the rather than the embrace the ethnic minority status to deliberation. Now let's run a link, but they say no link. However, yes, you link the inherently when the Bible spoke to a gay person out of judgmental determination. You first they cannot sever out that portion of the narrative of Jesus Christ. They spin that they carry the modern day Christ. We say the modern interpretation of root is still the modern day does not take into account the message of Christ. The narrative of Christ still embraces the Bible to actually produce and still is the voice of the Bible Son. It does bad things to Jesus. Inherently proud of the idea that the Old Testament is specifically to exclude the law, not fulfill it. Also he wrote things like marriage and things like the childbearing, which is the reason why the Protestants also tried after the negative empirical religion. These are things like genocide, extermination of the queer body, default to a non-religious ideology because there's only risk their advocacy re-entrenches the past notions of how religion works. Their drive to create sexuality rooted in futures, and it makes the new statement the one that seems specifically indicates that you're drive for futures, then rooted in the future politics and everyone. Like they process the only say they try to preserve like their whole. They say that we should stop forgetting about the past and instead look to the future. That's exactly what our link is. And when you said continue to drive for a better mode of politics, you're linking because you're trying to prop up the future and the futures of the body, which inherently excludes a queer body because we are never looking in the future because we are cannot property and lead to the end, which means that they're still embracing the oneness and process proof that they are affirming a strategy for the future to preserve life. Now Jesus is used as a picture to prop up heteronormative violence. He didn't just love everyone. He connected the Bible ideology, which always gets spun into violence. They don't solve as long as you're so tied to the same Bible. Always get reintroduced on next. Their idealization of futures not so dependent on the genetic reproduction that redefines the fashion, the secularization of the child that's good and iffy. In 2008, the child is the futures unlocked the politics is what manifests the reproductive futures and the substitute the heteronormative of the sovereign authority, the matrix of the children, is such by the circle members of the homophobic organizations of the Catholic Church. They illustrate the fact that this figure of the child is more often than not put into the simple strategy to shift the homophobic different together, operating a more advantage than committed homosexuality elements respond. It's refusing to play the game the dominant culture by championing the possible power projection and career oppositionality that would actually pose itself the logical opposite itself, and Jesus upholds that law and proclaim it to be a good doctrine. That's evil Bible noted. So many Christians come to the Old Testament as the function of Jesus was a name to declare the way to rule. This is just another bullshit scapegoat for the Christians to actually ignore the atrocities of God's command. For truly I say to you that till heavenly the earth pass away not, and the notion not a God will pass along till it's all accomplished. Now none other than Jesus said that Jesus strongly disproves the law in the prophets. Nothing that I have something to abolish the law of the prophets. I come but to abolish the future. Now let's go on. Now next heteronormativity ensures the non-discrimination difference in normalization and organization control that's yet uniform. Otherization need to be less important unless human based on the markers of social formulation, normalization, construction, production, and reproduction, reproductive capacity, standard use of the measure, goodness, society, morality, and the rational superiority, dominant culture, the values, the normalization, the primary and institutional power, the modern side, normalization, the side of balance, the most powerful form of heteronormativity, the through regimes and knowledge power, the heteronormativity, the back society, the force, and the marginalization, dispower, the oppression of all sexual, the process of normalization, the side of balance of the end, the men, women, change in institutional violence, underpins all social institutions, heteronormativity ensures the end of cycle balance. If you don't break down heteronormativity, you cannot prevent the social institution. That's and all 2003 institutional violence is why the underpinning all the social institutions, heteronormative ideology, the hegemonic heterosexual proclaims the family, the life, and all education, serial health, mass media, and other pop culture. The thing is deeply integrated in the invisible social institutions. The methodological warning says power that denies the reduction of individuals not actually form the heterosexual media method, decriminalizing the protection against discrimination by refusing the basic right of recognition of the heteronormative LGBTQ individual couples that are citizenship of the rights of heteronormative individuals take a right of LGBTQ person. The category denies heteronormativity is hard on the concept of violence. The LGBTQ individual, the violence is temporarily with the individual is a collective conscious of the individual perceptive experience and the social institution and desire manifests at the local level. The conscious, the resonates into a group order, the power of the public's failure to investigate the motives at the level of desire abandons any possible understanding about political formulation come to be in the church of policy failure that's been on that's being in 2107. The capitalism, schizophrenia, and humanism product in every single aspect of life makes us operate under to produce conscious connection in different directions of producing incompatible desires. There, that's of these we become motivated to actually produce the effect of the level of conscious about any clear on the connection with substance of any kind of necessary to pass the centralization of absolute health to be some individual social work try to ask the people to connect the target together within to produce a product identity, not like connecting the individual, the crowd, the mass identities, the design, the machines, upon those breaking together, the crowd that they are around to be able to actually act together to produce a group identity. This is the crowd, the body, the individual. We see the highly visible, the idea of the individual deeply in imaginary language. That's cool, I have 13 seconds. I didn't need cards, I guess.
Okay. What causes heteronormativity?
we advocate there are multiple things across the normative. We think the app is a unique circumstance.
Why?
Why? I think the future is in debate, and the whole narrative of Jesus is a pretty good explanation that Jesus, and through the narrative of Christ.
Okay,
and the
that's
narrative
fine.
of Jesus,
But let's get back to the basic
I'm trying to
question.
answer your question.
Alright.
Like, you can't cut me off if you only answer a question. You engage in heteronormativity because the two things. First is that the Bible and the notion of Jesus Christ has always had genocide and violence against the queer body. The Bible is always used to place judgment on the queer body.
Wait.
I honestly have never read,
Sure.
Okay,
That's-
so-
That's not the question, right? The question isn't what we do to prop up heteronormativity. We're wondering why there is such thing as heteronormativity, right?
Because there's institutions like the Bible that prop up the
Wait, that
idea
doesn't,
of
like, that still doesn't
heterosexuals.
answer the question. Like, what causes?
In relation to the affirmative, the Shotgun is specific about how affirmations of life inherently rely on a violence toward the other queer. So the affirmation
What?
of life that you support is what
What evidence?
the link evidence from the 1C.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
That's fine.
Okay, so you read this card about Jesus upheld the Old Testament. So right, it says Jesus approves the law because it quotes, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have come not to abolish but to fulfill." Right? That's your one, correct? That he supports Old Testament law.
Our argument is that he promotes a bad doctrine.
Why? What bad doctrine does he uphold?
Because he empirically ignores the queer body. He
How?
justifies because he said there and the whole Old Testament's about. I'm not too familiar on the Old Testament, but the way I was explaining it is that he specifically propagates the marriage and the idea of proclamation, and that we need to enable the future and lead to a better mode
Okay,
or form.
so let me kind of clarify this for you. When he says abolish and not to abolish but fulfill, that means that we have no reason to fear those types of things, which is our argument. That we no longer have to fear the law or having to uphold it. We can just affirm life. And
Right, and we think you affirming life is rooted in a futurist politics that ignores.
why does
the
affirming
queer
life
body.
create a futurist
Because
politics?
because you're not understanding the idea of the future is it currently excludes the queer body because the future is based off of the
Wait, how do we-
sex between a male and a
like, see,
female
that's the
to
thing,
lead
we
to a
don't-
child and lead to
We say
future
that
actions
looking to
to
the
preserve
future and
the
securitizing these types of things is bad, right?
But
I'm
we
not
should
sure
say
how
that
it
you still, through futurist modes of politics, look to the
What
future.
future mode of politics? Like
You're
that's
all
my
trying
point.
to preserve the future. That's your whole argument.
That's
That's
why-
why you affirm life.
We don't. When do we try to promote the future?
That's your whole argument is that, let me pull your lines.
To affirm life.
You specifically said that an act of being for life, that you instead forget not that you forget, but you said you don't look to the past instances, that you are now trying to have this mode
Right,
of
we're
politics
not
that preserves the
afraid of
life,
those
that
things.
preserves future actions.
That's
Right?
That's-
We're saying, like,
Our
security.
argument is that your look to the future is inherently flawed.
All right, we understand your.
That's cool.
Okay, no problem.